The next game is BioShock. Now, BioShock is one of those games where it's all about the environment and the connection to the minimalistic characters. There's not too many, variations of enemies in the game. You kind of are experiencing the world around you. The world is the true character in the game, the atmosphere, and everybody else is just kind of like, organs, beating in the background. They really make this game great. And the PlayStation 3 version is actually the best version. Despite what most people might tell you, 2K, I don't believe, actually wrote this game for the PS3. They actually took the code base from 2K Games and ported it over. So what happened with it was that this one supports the true perspective of 16:9, whereas the 360 version and the PC version don't support widescreen. Truly, they use a hack in the camera angle. And what this does, it allows you to have a little bit more camera space on the screen and screen real estate. And also, I found that this game, and I haven't tested the 360 version controls by hand, but this game is very smooth. It's one of the first times I did not use my frag effects for the PS3 control. I actually used the DualShock, and I found it to work a charm. If every game could be like this in Halo Reach, I think that PC gamers would come over to the dark side. Very, very good first-person shooter on a console. My first experience with God of War myself. Now, I'd watched God of War 2 before, briefly when my friends were playing it. But, these games, they really did translate well to the PS3, from what I remember of the PlayStation 2 versions. But the graphics are a little wowish. A lot of people, always criticize World of Warcraft for its cartoony graphics. But God of War, to me, at least on the PS3, really has a lot in common with World of Warcraft. And also Sly Cooper. It's like a grown-up version of Sly Cooper to me. So, but it's a great title overall. The story's awesome. I'm still on the first title. Maybe the second title, the graphics are updated even more. So we'll see about that. But, it's a great addition to the collection. I'm glad I have it. My first greatest hits title that I ever bought, Resistance Fallen Man. Now, I wish the controls were like BioShock, but it's still a great game. The controls on the DualShock aren't that bad. I can play it now with the DualShock. When I first got it, I needed my frag effects. But it's just a great title. I love how they kind of incorporated sci-fi and World War II in the same setting. It really was a refreshing game. This was my second PlayStation 3 game. That is Grid. I really like the racing aspect of it, but as my roommate pointed out to me, the cars are just too fast. The cars are just really, you can't enjoy driving at that speed all the time in every single race. And I kind of understand where it was coming from, and after playing Forza 3, I kind of agree with him. It's a great game, great graphics. If you like F1 and driving Lamborghinis and hot rods, this is the game to own. But if you want a sim where you can drive a bunch of different cars, look elsewhere. This game is for the person who has a craving to go as fast as possible. The next game is Assassin's Creed. Now, I bought this at the same time I got Unreal Tournament 3, so I got a discount on it. I know a lot of people say the PS3 port is poor, but I've played the 360 version and I've played the PS3 version. I don't know what they're talking about. This game plays fine. What I really didn't care for was it was a little repetitive. Now, I know there's a lot of Assassin's Creed fans out there, And I'll agree, it has some amazing graphics. It has some decent gameplay, but it's really boring. And when you start to get into the game, it really turned me off. I really like the story, like the graphics, like the gameplay, the game mechanics, but it repeats itself too much. So it is what it is to me. Would I get the second one for $10? Would I get the Brotherhood? Probably not. Grand Theft Auto 4. It's a great game. I've played about 2 hours of it. I've tried and tried and tried. I bought it the day it came out. I don't know what to think about this game. I like it and I hate it. I was really disappointed with the driving aspects of it. I was never a big Grand Theft Auto fan. This was a whim buy. Would I recommend it to a Grand Theft Auto fan? Absolutely. Do I want to, finish it? Absolutely. Am I going to finish it? Yeah, to be determined. One of my favorite fighting games of all time. Now, I'm a big Street Fighter fan. I love Street Fighter 2. I was a teenager. I called the Nintendo hotline back in the day, trying to get release dates and move scripts from Nintendo Power when it was being released on the Super Nintendo. Owned the original Super Nintendo copy. Played the Genesis. Still own the Genesis copy. I love this game. How can I reiterate that? Just a fast, true, next gen, soup of the original. It's just great. I love the new characters. She's my favorite. Actually, she is my favorite. She's like Ryu and Guile all mixed into one. Played this online with some people from Pete's Game Room. There's a huge community out there. I used to be great at the Street Fighter 2 series and even Street Fighter Alpha. I'd go into the arcades and, then we all got into Marvel vs. Capcom series and the X-Men Children of the Atom game. And, this is not those games. And the generation of gamers around it are absolutely... They have adopted this game as like their own, and they've just grown up a whole new championship tournament setting around it. I can't compete online with most people. My friends and I, we have fun, but yeah, it's just a really tough game to play online in the greater community. I wish there were some arcades around here that had the Super Street Fighter 4 builds. But unfortunately, arcades are going away. But this game is great. I definitely recommend it. It was the right price, especially if you don't have the original. You can't beat a game for $39. It's probably cheaper now. I got this the day it came out. My only PlayStation 3 Collector's Edition. Also bought the day it released. I pre-ordered this from GameStop. And yeah... I absolutely am in love with this game as well. I don't play it now that Super is out, but yeah, I still listen to the soundtrack. I still watch the movie, which came with this. So I wear my headband when I'm playing my friend that we have an epic rivalry with. All I have to say is cooking is dynamic. And this brings me to my last game that I own for the PlayStation 3, and that is Gran Turismo 5. Now, I know there's a lot of controversy around this game, especially with Forza 3 being so good. And I love Forza 3, don't get me wrong. But I think most of the people that have problems with this game don't actually know how to drive cars. They don't actually own wheels, like the G25 or G27. And that's a shame, because this game, I think the only other game that rivals it on a simulation level is iRacing. And that's only on the PC. And that, I believe, has a monthly subscription. This game, it has everything you'd want in the physics. This game will, everything you learn on a race course and driving school to go to be in a circuit, you will learn here. You will be able to apply here. The weight shifting is almost, it's almost like exactly 1-to-1. Whereas in Forza, there are still some arcadey feels in quartering. Even though Forza 3 is a lot of, it's a lot of physics involved in that. It does have a more realistic value than the past Forzas and Gran Turismos. The drifting in it is a little different, and if most people understand that drifting isn't just a fad, drifting is an actual. If you don't know how to drift, you don't know how to drive. You don't need to be a drift racer to actually apply drifting, especially when you're driving at high speeds and your car may be underpowered compared to your competition. So being able to drift in corners is a very big thing to pick up speed and also to put yourself on a good exit angles. And this game recreates everything down to the T. We haven't seen anything wrong about this game in your ability to drive. Now, as with all other racing games, and I mean every single game I've ever played, the AI is horrid. They don't brake right, and sometimes they try and follow their lines too well, which can make a pack racing really, really difficult, and it can break your immersion. Playing online, I would suspect it's a lot different, but right now I think my buddy is at level 17 and I'm at level, you don't even want to know, because I don't have my wheels set up all the time, so I'm still practicing on my DualShock. But this game is great. Now I am a little bitter about the whole car thing. I'd rather have 200 premium cars and no standard cars than to have 800 standard cars and 200 premium cars. I feel it just shards the game a little bit, and hopefully they fix it, but I just don't know. I want to have a cockpit view. If you don't have a standard car, then you won't know what I'm talking about, but most people do, because you start out with a standard car. You have no cockpit view, and I think that takes away from the game, from the simulation, because you can't really tell where your car ends and the screen begins. So they screwed the pooch on that. Graphics in some places, Forza 3 is better. In most other places, not a chance. Forza 3 has no competition. The lighting is better in this game. But one thing that Forza 3 has is generic cockpits. Forza 3 also has mountain passes. Now, whether they bring out new maps for Gran Turismo, it remains to be seen. But I can tell you, being able to go to the Japanese mountain and do downhills in Forza 3, that Gran Turismo 5 would be smart to have as DLC in the future. Haven't really played around with the map making. I've heard a lot of people hate it, so I don't know. But as driving and being a fan of Gran Turismo, it does have the goods in most places. My roommate actually bought this as an early Christmas present for me, so I can't say I didn't spend my own $60 on it, but he seems to be happy with his copy, and I know a lot of people who drive actually are happy with their copy as well. So yeah, that's it. Sorry I was a little long-winded on Gran Turismo 5. It's a great game. If you have Forza 3, you might not want to invest in until it comes out cheaper, and you will need a wheel, so that makes the price of the game a lot higher for entry to do it proper. But until next time, when I do my 360 collection, and I might do my 360 and Cube collection together, this has been a Hooflong 128 production. Thanks.